You just wouldn't believe it.
That's good.
Well, all right, I'm here today with my buddy, Tim Boyd, okay? And a lot of things we're not going to share because we grew up together. We're going to leave that on the lowdown because we don't want you to think any less
What
of
happened
us.
in war stayed in war, didn't it?
We don't want you to think any less of us. Is that right? So we want to know less than some people already think.
Well, that's BC, so
Yeah.
before Christ. So,
I thought it was Beach Hill.
oh yeah, Beach Hill before Christ. Yeah.
Tim, it's good to have you. I just thought about you when I was doing these interviews. I was thinking about you, and man, we the things we've done. I see a lot of places. I see places where I go by the place where you used to live all the time as a boy growing up.
Yeah.
I think about that. I think about life and growing up, and when you think about growing up, what are some things that stand out in your mind that stick out, that good memories or things that just stand out in your
Well,
mind?
being able to play till dark and
Yeah.
not having to worry about, and you go by to anybody's house and get something to eat,
Yeah.
something to drink. If your mama whooped me, then I got another whooping when I got home.
Your mama used to feed me a lot, feed me and then make me leave.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we had a lot of that.
I think about. You remember when we was young and we made buggies?
Oh yeah,
Go
rode
down
them
the
off the
hill.
hill.
Wasn't that the coolest thing you ever
Yeah,
seen?
and sleighs.
Yeah, man, making buggies. There wasn't a wasn't a lawnmower safe. The wheels on it.
Right.
We could find the
Yeah.
wheels off of a lawnmower and put on and make a buggy.
And remember riding them old freezer and boxes down the sage grass out there?
Oh man, we got that stuff just like it. Man, a car top. Well, we could cut the tar off. Little boys, we could cut the top off a car with a hatchet.
Yeah, sure could.
And ride it in the creek or in the snow.
And they'd fly down the
Oh
hill.
man, I remember when we used to go up on the hill and tear linoleum off the floor of Miss Beach's houses. And you'd ride that linoleum in the snow.
Yeah,
And it used to tickle death until it finally would freeze and break.
yeah.
Yeah. And what about bicycles? That was a
Yeah.
big thing, wasn't it?
To have one
Yeah.
was. Yeah.
And remember when they come out with the speed bicycle with the slick on the back?
I remember the banana seats and the ape hangers.
Oh
Yeah.
man! And what about when we could put forks on the front of them?
Yeah, and cards and balloons for motors and a piece of cardboard. Yeah.
We didn't need no Harley.
Remember the good old days.
That was good. I think a lot growing up. I think about stuff and that stand out in your mind.
Different world then.
Yeah,
It was.
it is.
Good time.
I remember your dad well. Think about him a lot.
Yeah.
First, he was so tall.
Yeah.
It just seemed like a giant.
Yeah.
Okay, and this is crazy stuff you remember. I remember him being so tall, and I remember your mom's hair being so black.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Isn't that something? I mean, I remember stuff like that.
Yeah.
You think about it, don't you?
Yeah, we had some good times. I remember I got spinal meningitis and gave it to you.
Yeah, you were friendly.
Yeah, we was close. I
Yeah,
wanted to share with you.
You know, Janice got meningitis a while back.
Really?
I mean, it was bad. She could have died.
Wow.
Took her and she didn't know what it was.
Well,
she got
see.
sick.
See, that's what happened. Remember, I about died,
Right.
and then you came with symptoms. So Mom
Yeah.
shared with your mom what they found with me.
It's crazy.
So I saved your life,
Yeah,
really.
I appreciate that. I knew you wanted to borrow money after we got the camera now. You said, now you remember, I saved your life. How about $20? It's pretty good. Oh, Lord. But I think about growing up. It was a lot of fun. Tim and I
It
grew
was.
up together, right side by side, went to school, all the way through school together. And, I think about people that are dead that we went to school with.
I told somebody the other day, I probably really know more people dead than I do alive now.
That we went to school with,
Yeah.
that we grew up with.
Yes, sir.
And I think about those people. I think about a lot of that stuff along, and man, alive. And I think about, I talked to David Deal's boy today. David, talked to him.
Yeah, I hear he's Mayor War now.
He is, and
Yeah.
I tried to do an interview with him, and he wouldn't do it. He ain't like his daddy. Okay, his daddy would have said, "All right, I'll do 10." He said, I loved his daddy was something. Man. His daddy, we played basketball together a lot,
Yeah.
and I wasn't good, and he was good. Dave was
Oh,
good.
Dave was a real
He
good
was
basketball
good.
player. He
really
was.
good. And we would sneak in places and play ball and do stuff together.
His dad took me, first time I ever caught a gold trout was me and David and his dad went fishing up Hartwell.
Right.
He took me, yeah. First gold trout I ever caught with Millard.
I went over the other day and went back up to the pool up at Berwyn Lake.
Mm-hmm.
Have you been up there in a while?
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
It is.
I mean, they have done great.
They have. Whoever's running
people
it.
People don't know about it. I think Donna, Matthew's wife, is running it. And Matthew Dash, his wife is, I think she's taking care of it.
Whoever's over it's doing a great job. It looks the best, to me, looks the best it's ever had.
Yeah, I really like it. I mean, Lord.
I took a group, I got an Airbnb I rent, and a man and woman from Dallas, Texas came to ride them trails.
Right.
I took them up there at Berwyn Lake.
Yeah.
They couldn't believe it. It was
beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
And you can't find hardly a 10-foot swimming pool no more.
Yeah.
I mean, because, you drowned.
Right.
But, I mean, we didn't know better.
No.
We dive into the bottom, you know what I mean? Or if somebody couldn't swim, you would push them in. You would push them in. You didn't think about it.
Have to go in and save them.
You didn't think about nothing. It was a lot of fun.
It was.
At other people's expense. Well, I think about that a lot. I used to think about Ricky Beavers. He could dive. Oh, Ricky
he could swim like a fish.
He could dive, man, off that board. That's when they had the real diving
board,
that big diving board.
Yeah.
When you get killed on. And he'd dive off that board.
Swim like a fish. Make it look so effortless.
Yeah.
He about drowned me. We went to Bluestone riding motorcycles. Yeah. Swam across. There was a grapevine to swim on. He swam over there, so I had to go.
Yeah.
I about didn't make it back.
I had an experience one time. A lot of people talk about Jim and Tammy Faye Baker, but they almost killed me one time. Jim and Tammy Faye did. Well, I think it was more Jim than Tammy Faye. No, probably both of them together. It was conspiracy. They rented out canoes. Me and Dwayne and I were down there, and they had a big lake, the PTL Lake.
Yeah.
And real reason I didn't get a place at PTL, my credit card wouldn't take it. But anyway, we're there at the PTL Lake. They got the train going around, everybody's waving. Janice and Lisa Ann got on them paddle boats. Me and Dwayne got us a canoe. We went out in the lake canoeing. We're paddling along. Well, a canoe is dangerous, especially in more round bottom canoes. Okay? We flipped that sucker over out in the middle of the lake. Well, I got these big old tennis shoes on and everything, I got my little shorts on like you wore then, but I mean, I got these big tennis. I'm swimming like a madman. Hard to swim tennis shoes. Well, I'm holding on to the canoe because I paid a deposit. So I wanted to make sure I got it back too. But Dwayne, he's gone. He just swam off. I'm swimming for all I'm worth. And I hear people yelling at me from the bank. And, I feel like people are encouraging me to swim harder. You're going to make it. Swim harder. And I hear them yelling at me and cheering and waving their arms. And all of a sudden I got closer and I heard them say, "Stand up." It wasn't about 4 foot deep. I stood up and I didn't, needless to say, Jim and Tammy Faye didn't invite me back. Okay. But I think about things growing up in life, man, and things that we enjoyed. And I think that life changes. I mean, kids, the kids enjoy things now that we didn't enjoy, but it was a different time.
Yeah.
And I don't spite them for not going out all day in the woods with a hatchet.
Yeah.
It's different stuff.
It's a different world. It is. But there's something about the outdoors that still, I love to see kids when they're outside doing stuff. My grandson and I do a lot of hunting, and we don't kill a lot, we hunt a lot.
Yeah.
I'd say beats sitting on the couch, don't it?
Yeah, cool.
It sure does.
That's pretty cool, man. I admire that. And I don't hunt at all. Okay, I don't hunt. I've got guns I've never shot, and but I don't hunt. I admire that, and I see that.
Yeah,
I think it's cool when I see you doing it. I see pictures of you doing it, stuff like that.
I love it.
And I think it's neat. It's neat to do stuff with those grandkids.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah, ain't nothing like I told somebody I wish I could have them first.
Mine will come to the house where they live within sight of me, and he'll come over and knock on the door on one end, and I'll say, "No, go home. Go to your house. Please, Papa, let me in." He'll say it. So eventually I will let him in sometimes. But they're a lot of fun. But growing up, so stuff that stands out in your mind, the stuff you really enjoyed, it was just seemed like a peaceful time, wasn't it?
It was. You couldn't wait to grow up, though. Remember, you just couldn't wait to turn 16. Then you couldn't wait to get 18.
Yeah.
Wishing your life away. You didn't realize Didn't realize then how much fun
Right.
you really was having.
Right.
But that's life, I guess.
Well, I believe it. I believe everybody's like that. I
Yeah.
listen to my kids talk about growing up, and same thing. And
Yeah.
I said, and I think that I hear them
Yeah, it's
talking
just
about
life.
it, and their memories become big.
Yeah.
The farther you get back away from them,
Yeah.
and
It's good to relive them though, because that way you remember.
Yeah.
It's good to relive memories because, you know, sometimes that's all you got left. I'm at the place, you know, with Julie and stuff. I mean, that's all I got left is memories.
Sir.
So I hold on to them memories.
Yes, sir. And well, I mean, great memories too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good
really,
memories.
Really great.
That's what I tell people all the time. Make good memories.
Yeah.
Make good memories.
I agree with you 100%.
Take lots of pictures.
Yeah. We only got pictures at the school. It seems like now they take so many pictures. People.
Well, I mean, you're carrying your
they take pictures.
You're carrying your phone, and
my daughter-in-law gets a book every month. It comes up in the mail.
Yeah.
There's all these pictures in it, and I said, people don't look at those pictures. That's like a lot of videos and stuff. I've got kids and stuff going. I said, ain't nobody interested in looking at that.
Yeah.
They don't. You know, they'll look at that stuff along a little bit.
A little bit, not much.
A little bit.
Yeah.
You know, we've always. It's funny at our house because we don't have any pictures on the walls of kids or us.
Right.
We just never have. My mom's a big believer in it.
Mine was too. Yeah.
But somehow, I don't know.
Yeah.
I did back in the summer. I got 2 race cars at a sponsor. And I took my picture with both those race cars and I set them on the mantle because I knew the kids was coming over. I had me standing with those race cars and there's no pictures of them anywhere. I knew. I kept edging them toward it, wanting them to see those pictures. I see you got those pictures of the race cars. Well,
thanks, Dad.
I figured if you can't torture them, why have them? I mean, at this point in life. Well, let's share about something now. You can share as in depth as you want, but let's talk about Julie.
Yeah.
Great wife.
Tough. Great wife.
How many years?
Been married. December be 40 years.
Man.
Been married 40 years. Been together. I met her. Well, she was 19. I was 21 when we met.
Yeah.
And
you knew each other in school, didn't you?
No, I was ahead of her. She didn't move down here to her senior year.
I didn't know.
Yeah. I didn't meet her till I was out of school.
I didn't know that. I don't know why I was thinking you was a lot closer than that.
No, she's 2 years younger than me. But you know, frontal temporal dementia. Anybody that's dealt with dementia understands it's a cruel disease.
Yes, sir.
But everybody's dealing with something, so we just try to make the best of it. She's happy and being well taken care of. Just got to where I couldn't take care of her.
Right.
But
and that's not an easy decision.
No, that's the hardest decision I ever made in my life was because I, you know, 4 years, I guess I took care of her. And it just got to where she wouldn't let me.
Yeah.
So she thinks I'm her daddy now.
You're right. Right.
But
you're not her good friend anymore.
Yeah, still friend.
Still a good friend.
It depends on the day, you know, or I'm a good friend or her daddy. Hardly ever her husband.
Is she healthy?
Yeah, for physically, yeah.
Well, I mean.
Yeah, I had some people tell me she's a better worker than some people they pay out there. She helps take care of them, the older people. I went to visit her one day, and she came over and we said she got up and left. She came back and said, "I got to go. I'll see you later. I got to take care of this little girl." So,
Mom was asking about her today. She was talking about her, what a good helpmate she was for you.
And
Mom was talking about her today. I went over to see Mom, and she was talking about it. And I tell you something, man. I have no idea how you feel. Okay, and I know we can try to comfort each other. I know that's hard, but I admire you because you've made decisions that were good for her.
Yeah.
Not for you.
Yeah.
But for
her. I tell people, I got married because I need help.
Right.
And now I ain't got no help.
Right.
So, you just make the best of it. It was getting dangerous for her.
Tim's wife has
frontal temporal dementia.
Frontal temporal dementia.
Yeah.
Okay. And
same thing Bruce Willis was diagnosed.
Had a battle with that for years now.
Yeah.
Okay. How many years, Tim?
Well, she lost her job in 2019 because of it. But once we got a diagnosis, which was hard to get, but she'd been battling it for several years before that. So.
Well, I'm glad that I'm glad she's doing good.
Yeah. She's happy. She's safe.
Yeah.
She feels needed where she's at.
Absolutely.
She's helping. I mean, it's a funny thing, John. Your mind can go, your body can go, but your spirit,
yes, sir.
The spirit to pray,
yeah,
and to help people,
still
as real as it ever was.
I believe because it's real.
Yeah.
With her, it was real.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's sort of like Donna Johnson preached a message at the church one time, talking about how until we go through things, we don't know really what we're made of, what's in us. And she used the example of a sponge on the side of the sink. You think so clean till you squeeze it.
Yeah.
And how when we get squeezed,
that's what's in you comes out.
That's exactly. That's it. And I think sometimes, Tim, we need that to be able to deal with what we need to deal with.
Yeah.
Because I've often in my life thought I was a better person than what I was.
Exactly.
Until something happened, and I thought, well.
Yeah, when that comes out, it's like, whoa, where'd that come from?
When I thought, well, I'm going to slap that sucker for what they said. And I thought, well, now, I didn't even know that was in there. You know what I mean? Now I have to deal with it. Okay, that part of my heart.
Exactly.
I have to fix it and deal with it.
Yeah.
And I think that's.
I think our scripture says, "Judge yourself, so you have no need to be judged any other man." But sometimes we can't judge ourselves till we realize what's in there.
That's exactly. And I think the storms, the things that we have. I know you've shared this before, but we deal with storm when a storm blows off the broken, loose, dead limbs on trees and through the forest.
Yeah.
And we'll have storms that will lighten us up and clear up things sometimes in our heart. That things that we didn't know we needed to deal with.
Yeah.
And we'll find out sometimes we're a better person than we thought we were. And sometimes we'll find out we're not near as good as we thought we were.
I just came back from North Carolina where the devastation, flood, and Hurricane Helena, I guess what it was called, hit. Devastation like I never seen. But I met a guy whose house was destroyed. He from Texas originally. And the people down there, it's amazing. They've just come together and so resilient and tough. And he said, I lived here for 20-some years. He said, but until all this happened, he said, I was driving back and it started feeling like home. Yeah. Because he said the community has come together in the hardest times and the best is coming out of them in the hardest of times. And sometimes hard times, the squeeze brings out either the bad or the good.
Hold on just one second. Like to make sure everything's moving. Well, I think that's right. What you're sharing is it'll bring out really it brings out what's really in us. Because it's easy sometimes to be sweet and be nice to somebody sweet and nice to you.
It's easy to talk. It's harder to walk, ain't it? Easier to preach it and live it.
Well, I've shared with a few people I've talking about, I said, when me and Steve Branch was talking, I said, I don't have a problem with me and Jesus. It's these other people get in the mix.
Yeah.
But I got to forgive them. It's aggravating.
Yeah.
And one time I was, we distributed 3 million pounds of food one year. Janice and I did. And I got cussed a lot. Yeah. Because people didn't get what they wanted or something like that. You can't really hurt me cussing me. I'd rather you didn't hit me in the nose.
Right.
But I can take a little cussing. And the Lord spoke a real simple word to me. He said, son, thank you for being good to the ravens because anybody can be good to the doves.
Yeah, that's true.
And but that raven is somebody's son or daughter.
Yeah. Going
through a little situation, going through stuff. And sometimes people are just punks. I ain't saying.
Yeah.
But I mean, sometimes people are going through things. And we just have to be careful with
them. And you got to give them grace,
Exactly.
You got to give them grace because I mean, we like you said, sometimes you want to smack somebody. I call it the spirit of slap.
Yeah. But don't you think it's okay to feel that?
It is.
It's not good to do it,
right?
Unless you have to.
Yeah.
But I mean, I used to tell people, and I'm glad I wasn't near as good a pastor as you are. I know, but anyway, I would tell people. I said, now listen, what you need to do is try to hit that Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of living right. You know what I mean? Allow yourself a couple days, okay, to really be a rascal. But get you a couple good 3 days in there, and really, work with what you can. And then try to add a
little to it, Work with what you got,
Don't put more on you than you can stand. Let's think about people. Let's think about my Uncle Leonard.
Oh, Leonard.
I love Leonard.
Yeah, he was a great guy.
He really was, wasn't he, buddy? I'm telling you. And that shows you, though, how God's grace and mercy prayers of my grandma and you and people, how they come through. When Leonard had, my Uncle Leonard was a little bit rough.
Yeah,
Okay?
just a little
I tell you,
bit.
he's a little rough. Okay, I mean, I seen him pull a guy out of a car one time out the window and just slap him. But he was a little rough. Okay, he wasn't like me and Tim. Okay, but he come to the Lord, and I've got videos of him singing, and I mean not singing, but playing music and doing things, and he would go out and testify to people that nobody could reach.
You got a video of me baptizing him.
Sure do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Got him playing the bass.
Yeah.
And playing, and he come to the Lord. I've got his Harley hat hanging in my building.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Hanging in my building. I think about how how he went to be with the Lord.
Yeah.
Did Dad talk to him that night? And there he was dead on the couch the next morning.
Wow.
Sitting there.
Mm.
And talking about the Lord that night.
Yeah.
When they hung up.
Yeah.
It's something, isn't it?
Me and him did a lot together, BC, before Christ.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I mean, he was a good fella. I mean, one time I was what was it? I can't remember his name. Over at Ward, he's a great big old guy. Anyway, lived up there up a holler. But anyway, we was at City Hall standing on the porch there, and for some reason he wanted to whip me, and I don't know why. It couldn't have been nothing legitimate. But he wanted to whip me, and he come walking around the corner. He said, "I'm just gonna whip your little blankety blank tonight." About that time, Leonard walked around, and he walked over. And he said, "I don't think it's gonna work out exactly like you think it's gonna work out."
Yeah.
He said, "If you ever touch him," and Leonard began to express his opinion. I said, "Yeah, what do you think about that, buddy? Hey, take that, won't you?"
Yeah.
Me and Leonard got in a fight one time in the mines, but it was 30-inch seam.
Yeah,
So
he couldn't do much
So
in
I'm
there.
like, hey, all right, we got a pretty good fight. And I don't know why, but he was just picking on me. We got in a fight, and I'm telling you, he hit me several times. But I finally, we wore the red boots with the black toes. And that 30-inch seam, I finally got my foot up in his personal private parts. And I said, I'm not going to bleep this out. I got my foot up in his private parts. And I said, here's the deal. I know you're going to hurt me, but I'm going to hurt you too. I said, if we can call a truce, I said, call this thing off. I'll be happy and you'll be happy. He let me go. Yeah, he let me go. We had to walk home one night, and we worked in the mines together, and we got ready to come out of the mines. We was pumping water on third shift. Just me and him. We come out of there, and we walked outside to get in the truck, and my truck had froze to the ground. It was so cold. And it wouldn't move. I could put it in gear and the sucker wouldn't move. Just sit there. Wouldn't kept dying. And we had to walk from Warrior Mines all the way downtown. And I remember getting downtown and my coveralls was froze solid. And they just crunched every time I walked. I think about Uncle Leonard. I think about John Branch. I got to work in the mines with him.
Yeah.
And got to work in the mines with him, and he was a great man.
I got saved under John's ministry.
I knew that.
Yeah, sure did.
He was a great man, right?
Yeah, good man.
And there's kings in the land.
Yeah.
Okay. I think about a man like him. I think he was a forerunner of the Assembly of God in our area.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He was.
Yeah. He brought the assemblies to that area. Really.
I remember when he first left the church of God, going into the Assembly of God.
Mm-hmm. Come
up to the house, sitting down with Mom and Dad, and Dad said, "I think you're crazy."
Yeah.
He said, "You don't even know nothing about these bunch of people. What are you doing?"
That's funny.
He was a great man.
I remember I got saved in the Assembly of God. And, I was raised Methodist. Right. Not against Methodists, but they didn't believe in Holy Spirit, right, speaking in tongues and stuff like that when I was growing up. You avoided Pentecost. And I remember I got saved, and my wife's mom was Pentecostal, and told her where I was. She said, "Well, them's Pentecostal." And this is how dumb I was. I said, "Them ain't Pentecostal, them's good people." I didn't know Pentecost from apple butter.
I like that. Shoot. That's neat. Memories, man.
Yeah.
It's good to be able to have them.
It is. A lot of people don't.
Do you find, though, old people repeat themselves a lot.
Yeah, I found myself repeating that.
And I was talking to a friend of mine. I was talking to Jody White today in the grocery store, and I was telling her about something. I said, now, whenever I talk to you, if I've already said this, just hold your hand up.
I tell my grandkids, I said, don't you tell me I done told that. Just say, oh, really? So now that's a running joke. I'll retell it, and he'll say, oh, really?
My dad used to tell the same joke over and over. He'd tell the joke,
Yeah.
and I swear he'd tell it 20 times. And I'd have to laugh the same.
Yeah.
I'd have to wait with interest, He'd tell the same joke over and over.
I think that's just something happens with age.
Yeah.
As I'm finding myself, I'll say, now, if you done heard this, let me know.
I do it all the time. I really do. I think I was talking to Janice about these interviews I've been doing and stuff like that, and I said, well, I'm not much good at hard work anymore. I can still talk,
Yeah.
but I can't put up a fence line.
Right.
I said, a hard day's work killed me dead. I said, but the reason the Lord put this on my heart, and I believe this is something He's laid on my heart to do, because, and I've shared this, I believe there's treasures hid
Yeah.
in these earthen vessels.
Right.
And there's words that can create worlds.
Yeah.
There's words that can encourage people.
Yeah.
And they're not something you read in a book.
Something you lived, experienced.
Something
Yeah.
you lived. And I think it needs to be shared.
Yeah. Nothing replaces. I preach that in the sermon. There's some things nothing that only age can bring, and experience. You can't learn it in the book. You can't learn it at school. You just got to live it.
You don't forget it.
No.
You really, there's stuff that you go along like that, and you really hold on to it and don't forget it.
And like you was talking about going through hard times and stuff, but the lessons I know the best, I learned the hard way.
Yes,
I've never forgotten.
Yes, sir. Well, tell me this. What about this Harley Davidson, this whole deal, all this big fleet of motorcycles you got hit over there?
I think I've just two.
That's a fleet. I think that's a fleet of.
Well, I got a buddy owns a Harley shop, and I wouldn't have one if he hadn't sold me one at such a good price. So,
your friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, your pusher.
Yeah.
Pusher. Yeah.
Yeah, I've ridden a lot. I've been to Sturgis 5 times.
Man.
And doing ministry. Of
Yeah.
course, background I came from, it was, me and Leonard had a Harley shop together called the Hog Pen.
Yeah.
But God had to get that out of my life, and then when I got back in it, I've been able to do a lot of ministry through motorcycles. It's been but I don't, since getting old and knee replacements and hip replacements and shoulder replacement, so I don't ride like I used to. But I still got them and still enjoy it, but not like I did.
I loved mine. And, Dwayne took it from me, but I loved it, and I enjoyed it a lot. And I took your advice because I called you, and I researched the life out of stuff anyway.
Yeah.
I'm real bad about it. It was 2 years looking for a camper before I bought one.
Yeah.
I wore out YouTube. Man, looking and researching. When I got there, I could educate the salesman.
Right.
I knew what was going on. But one thing you told me, you said, John, don't buy that used one. Go get you a brand new one with all the new technology, new electronics, so you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
That was a smart move.
Yeah.
Because I could hit that thing
and go.
It started right up.
Didn't have to work on them.
I didn't want to do it.
Them old bikes, if you didn't enjoy the old Harleys, really, I mean, Leonard and I, we like mechanic stuff.
Yeah.
If you didn't like to work on them, you better not own one, because you had to work on them.
Yeah.
I remember he had that old building behind his trailer down on your papa's farm, and we'd tear them bikes down in the winter and redo them.
Yeah.
But back in, if we rode to Burke's Garden, we thought we'd went somewhere. Now I go to Sturgis, South Dakota. It's crazy.
Yeah. You enjoy that.
Yeah. It's fun.
It's important to take time to do that, man. Do what you enjoy. The only reason I sold mine is I've never had a bad wreck.
Yeah.
And 65, never had a bad wreck.
Yeah.
And I got thinking about it. I'm real big on the odds. I'm betting on horses or whatever I'm doing. I'm pretty big on the odds, okay? And I got to thinking, it's time for me to get run over probably. And I think I'm just going to go ahead and pass it.
Yeah, I've thought about that, but you can get you can go out there and fall dead. I think I've never had a bad wreck on a street bike. Now, dirt bikes, I broke ribs and knocked teeth out, all kinds of stuff, dirt bikes, but street bikes.
We enjoyed Myrtle Beach. We rode ours a lot when we was down there.
Yeah.
It's not as much fun as you think. It's so hot.
Oh yeah, I don't like it.
It's so
Yeah,
hot. And
I like mountain riding.
I like the night.
Yeah.
We ride at night a lot.
Yeah.
I like at night because people could see me,
Yeah.
and I could see them better. And I sort of enjoyed riding at
Yeah,
night.
people don't respect motorcycles. That's a fact.
No.
You better have your head on swivel and do a lot of defensive riding.
Yes, sir.
Because they will run over you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about this, Tim. Let's talk about something. Let's talk about money for a minute. Okay. You know,